Dang. Is that as far as you got? You didn't get very far, Mr. Slowman. What's going on in here, people?
A little bit of everything today.
Hey, what's up, Cody?
How's it going?
Having a good old time. Cody come out to clean up the Dirty Bird. We got a car show coming up here in about 4 weeks. Putting some type of crazy coating on the windows and the paint again. I'm not sure exactly what that stuff is, but pretty expensive stuff, huh, Cody? What is it called?
Ceramic coating.
Ceramic coating. So,
Windows for now, and then the paint whenever we buff it for the car show.
okay. Do the windshields now and the paint before we buff it for the car show. So it'll look like glass for the car show. We're really excited, definitely. But it's been busy around here for sure. And look, when you put the word out, you need some 700 R4s or 4L60s. Look what walked in the door, guys. 3 4-wheel drives and 1 2-wheel drive. I mean, I've looked everywhere for them. You just can't find them no more. I mean, tell me. But when he showed up with them, I about had a cow, definitely. But we got the turbo truck on the lift. We got Miss Annie. Are you barking?
Come on, Annie. Little turbo truck.
She sees somebody going down the street. She has to bark and let them know she's boss. Huh? She's so funny. But anyway, we got a 4L80E in the house. Got a really nice converter in it here. Got a Circle D bolt together 4L80E converter. Really nice looking piece. Look at that, guys. The workmanship these guys put into these converters and stuff is just amazing. I'd like to take this apart and see what it looked like on the inside, truthfully, but I won't be doing that unless there's just a ton of metal in the tranny or something. But what happened was, supposedly the tranny was working fine, shifted good, worked out and everything, but they wanted to add a Transbrake to it. So they put a Jake's Performance 4L80E D3 Plus Transbrake valve body on it, and now we don't have overdrive. So I really don't know what's going on there, but I talked to Jake at the performance place, and he said you could bolt the valve body on and it would still have 4th gear no matter what. I mean, 4th gear on these are pretty simple, but you do have to disassemble the tranny to do some modifications to the drum, leave a sealing ring off the stator, drill some holes, or drill and tap a hole in the case, do some other things to it. So they did disassemble it. And for this just to be done, you can tell it was not a clean job. If we had took the valve body off and had to take the unit apart, this case would have been put in a wash machine. It would have been spotless and treated like a total overhaul for us anyway. But we're going to get this apart and let's see what this thing looks like. I'm pretty excited. Let's see, I'll try some air today, or electric. Keep it a little quieter.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Tried to asphyxiate myself the other day. Left the door open, had a vehicle running. That wasn't good.
No.
Shut me down for a little bit.
Yeah. Calls me on the phone telling, help, open the garage door.
Yeah, it was
It's
terrible.
like, what is going on?
I'm gonna go get my hammer.
I didn't know if
Yeah, I
you
thought I
turned
had
into-
enough doors open to make everything okay, but I guess I didn't, and I breathed in a little bit of that stuff and got me pretty sick pretty quick.
He did not have a door open. He had a walk-in door open. That's it, guys. Don't let him tell you that.
You can see here, since it's a 2-wheel drive, we have our seal here that seals to the tail housing, that pressurizes the tail housing bushing, which I did notice on this unit that on the earlier video that I did, I don't think I've posted it yet, but or did we post one on this truck?
I think
A
so,
short
yeah.
one, huh? That the drive shaft, come here and check this out. This is how far the drive shaft is physically going up inside the back of the tranny.
So is that a no-no?
That's a no-no. It needs to come up in here like this.
Oh, it needs to go further.
Further up in that side of the tranny. If you look at the bushing in the tail housing now, watch your head, Teresa. That it turned the tail housing bushing purple. It's just in such a bind. See that right there? And it's even pressurized, you've got to remember. See that? Can you see that? See how it turned it purple?
Yeah.
The back, that's one bushing pressurized through that hole right there.
That bushing even twisted a little bit.
Yeah,
Looks
they
like.
could have got it in crooked. See how purple that is?
Yeah.
That dude got hot.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it had pressure on it, that bushing got hot. Tells you how much of a bind that yoke is in. Of course, we have our seal here that keeps the fluid from coming out the weep hole in the yoke. Seals it. Get off there. This is another yoke here. You can see here in the yokes, when they slide on, you can see they have a machine smooth spot for that seal to set in their seal, for any fluid to get in the yoke and come out the back of it here. Normally this would have a cover and a little weep hole in it. This is a bolt-on style. This is a 400 yoke. So I'll just give you an example what this seal physically does. Of course, you have a snap ring here, another seal to maintain the pressure in there. If you leave that out, you lose pressure here because that chamber there does pressurize this seal here to pressurize your bushing. So. He's got 10s. Both speed sensors were hooked up. Now this does have a Holley computer system in it. It's not running off the factory computer system being turbocharged. Looks decent. Normally if there's a lot of metal or something, it would be all over these.
That's what I was going to ask. And those are magnetized, so.
See a little bit of metal starting to get under, not much though.
Yeah.
But like I said, they just had this apart, so I don't know how clean it is. Let me go grab something else. Not sure what size that is, so I'll just grab the old standard size. Fit all.
Fit all.
I'm going to take this out, that way you don't break it when you pull your support out. This fitting is your rear lube for your cooler line. Has to have that shank on there because there's a gap in between the case and the center support. If you just put a regular fitting in there, the fluid will just drop right down the side of the inside of the case into the pan instead of pressurizing the lube circuit.
Sure.
So you definitely want to take that out. Of course, the neutral safety switch and stuff was not hooked up to the Holley system. We have our lockup O-ring here. Feels really good still. Still round, not so much of a square cut on it. See here we do have a billet input shaft. You can tell just by the color of it how shiny it is. Yeah, this old deep pan, this thing holds some fluid when I drained it, let me tell you.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's almost half a 5-gallon bucket. Ooh, what's that?
I do not know. Got a little bit of metal in here.
That looks like the seal that goes in the support, kind of like. Let me.
Is that metal?
Actually, I have a lot of stuff over here that so you can look here, Teresa. So here's that bushing that's pressurized, the rear tail housing bushing. But if that seal isn't in that support, it look nice.
Is that a metal seal or plastic?
It's a metal clad seal. Let me just open this. And I'll show you that seal. And you gotta look for it. Get it out of there. Now you have two hard case seals. You have your shifter shaft seal, and then you have your lube seal right here.
Oh, so is that what that is?
Well,
You think?
it's the same thickness. See, and that could be, if it's missing, that could be why our tail housing bushing's purple.
Should it have come off on that
No,
or no?
no.
Okay.
No, it should have stayed in the support. if you,
Let's get this puppy tear down. Now
Yeah.
we got to see what's going on for
let's
sure.
go. Let's get it apart.
Yeah.
Filter's nice and clean. Of course, you have your bumps here. Now, since this has a deep pan, they have extensions here to hold the filter up into the seal here. They do make a deep and an early and a late model filter. The early style does not have the dimples. Late model deeper pan has the dimples to hold it up in there. But if you put I'm assuming, let me see if these all fit at the same spot. No, they don't. So I'm assuming if you put an early filter on this pan would still work because the legs are not touching the stands here to hold the filter up. They're touching the flat part. So there's no difference in an early filter and a late except the dimples. So this pan will probably retrofit both of them. That way they can just make one design pan. Got the old famous rubber pan gasket.
Yeah.
It always squirts out.
Those are junk.
Yeah, they definitely are. Okay. Here's a big problem here. I just noticed this, and this is what, these guys weren't experienced at all when they did this, put the valve body on, and if they disassembled the complete unit. So if you look down here, this is your lube tube right here that goes down and pressurizes the case bushing in the back, and it pressurizes the tail housing bushing here. Okay? That's why it's purple. If you look, they misstabbed the tube. Do you see that tube right there? Isn't in that hole.
It's not even in the hole.
See?
Nope.
So all the pressure and lube oil going to the rear case bushing and the tail housing was not even happening. So clip this little tie strap off here, get that temp sensor. You take this bolt out and clip, that's what holds that tube in there. But see that? You should stick that in the hole, set that down in there. See, they could have bent this a little bit too, and that's why it's being fussy.
Being fussy.
Yeah, being fussy. I just want to see what they did to me. Because I think they might have bent it a little bit somehow. Yeah. It's not wanting to go in there because they bent it. So I'll probably... Because when you bolt it down, it pulls it out.
You'll just have to
So,
straighten that right out.
yeah, we just have to figure out what's going on there.
Make it quit being fussy.
Yeah. I did get permission to take the valve body apart from the company to check for any stuck valves or anything like that. Because, like I said, this unit wasn't cleaned when they put it together, so a lot of trash could have went through this nice new valve body. Not good. Now there is some modifications you have to do to this wiring harness to make this valve body work. They got really good instructions they'll send to you. See, they had a pressure switch here. They tie, I believe, a wire into the manifold switch here. So, pretty neat. Still got your shift solenoids. Detent spring there. You notice no pressure control solenoid here anymore. Totally eliminated.
What's that going to?
I'm not for sure. I gotta look myself. I've never installed one of these valve bodies like this before, so it's going to be a little bit of a learning curve for me too. You can see a lot of trash. they had to take this off and put it on this, so they had to rewire it. So you can see the trash on here that was never cleaned out. So this thing could have just got a big old taste of trash and stuck a valve in the valve body or something, because fourth gear on this train is very simple. Thank you for the green gloves, Marlon and Lisa. Appreciate that.
Kevin sent us some really nice stuff too.
Oh, he did. Yes. Actually, he did. Hate to stop and show you right now, but I don't want to forget. Have to remind me. Got everything unhooked. You can see our manual valve right here is still tied in. You have to put it back in the little pin there to make it move when you put the valve body back on. Let me try to push this out real quick. Okay. Pretty nice looking piece there. Okay, we'll set this over here and take this apart here in a minute. I just want to see the trash that's on there. And if you look here, this could be a major problem too. See how bad the valve body gasket's on? See, it's all just crooked.
Yeah, it is.
See? So that's we got cross leaks.
Number 3.
I mean, just all. And you got your fourth gear ply bolt right here, and your ply hole is right here over here on the side. Let's see. Let's find something here real quick. I want to see how that would affect it. Put it back on there. But you got your circuit coming from all the way over there. I just want to see the round in that boot looking thing. What they did to me. Yeah, see through here and through here. I mean, this thing could have been, it was so bad it was like that. So if you look at this hole, I mean, it'll cover it right up. And that's how bad that thing was off bad. They're about right there. Somewhere. So yeah, that could have been a big issue right there. That could have been the problem. I'm not sure if we have our band still in there. Yep, it's still in there. So no modifications done to the servo there. Now we should have 4 check balls. You have one here, you have one here, you have one here, and one here. Now this is only for their application for that valve body. Other than that, you'd have one here, you'd have one here. Okay? So they do have your fourth gear's bolt is in there. That's a hollow bolt. You're going to have your seals off your accumulator piston here. Now you are going to take this apart, and they did not do that. In the instructions, they tell you to grind a 60 thousandths groove from here all the way down to here. You take this apart, and if you look here in the instructions, we can always print off more. This is your reverse pin right here. They want you to put a green. See that green? They want to put you a groove all the way through that, down the end of there. And it says it right there, 60 thousandths. So basically, I'll give you another pin. One I already don't have this apart to show you, but basically they want you to put a groove all the way down here, 60 thousandths deep all the way through. So that was not done at all, or you'd see it. Okay. Plus they wanted your band set at 85 thousandths. Your travel. This is our 4th gear bolt right here. This is a hollow bolt, like I was saying. The fluid goes through there to apply the 4th gear clutch. This is an aftermarket bolt. The other bolts are aluminum looking. This is the aftermarket steel bolt. Hollow. This is your factory aluminum bolt that will break real easy. Both of them hollow. Crazy, the hole's bigger in this bolt than it is this bolt though. You'd think you'd want it. Guess it makes the bolt stronger with a smaller bolt, but smaller hole on the inside of the bolt, excuse me. Also, you can't see it down in here, but they should have tapped this down in here and put a 5/16 plug. If you look here, you're going to be going down in there and tapping it with a 5/16, a 5/16 18 tap, and put a 5/16 set screw down in the bottom of that hole right there. So that's pretty simple. I feel something down in there. It's just got a lot of fluid in there to see, and I don't want to blow fluid off me all over Miss Teresa this morning. She could get mad at me.
I sure would. Your little helper over there wouldn't be helping you none.
Yeah, let me try to blow some air in there real quick. I want to see if it's there. Okay, it is there. Can you see that down in there, Teresa? See that down in there? So they did tap that, put that plug in there.
Cool.
Good to go there. So we'll get the pump out of the, well, we can take the center support bolt out real quick. 3/8 12 point. .4L80E's got a long bolt, hollow. 400 has the same bolt, but it's half the length, and you do not want to interchange.
Don't need to take none of your parking stuff off over there?
Do what?
Your parking stuff?
No, I'm going to leave it all on there for now. I mean, you can just see how dirty it was when they put it together. I mean, they didn't clean nothing. So this thing should have been taken totally apart, case put in the wash machine, and basically that deep into it, we'd have treated it like a rebuild. We wouldn't have wanted to really just go back in there and patch it. Bushings are pretty wore. Now they did supply a boost valve for this that you're supposed to put in the pump. Well, actually not the boost valve, the spring. See, now I got a little smell of like some burnt stuff or something smelled. Did you smell that now, Teresa?
Yeah.
Kind of weird. You can see here, I mean, I can't feel it, I can see it, but we just have to clean it up and get my gloves off, see what it looks like there. See here, a lot of wear on the gear,
Oh, yeah.
where it tries to spin it. Pumps are very expensive for these things. Not something you want to have to buy, but you definitely want a good one in there.
For what this is.
Yeah, definitely. Got a wide bushing. Some of them have a narrow bushing. I always want to stake it in. You can see, almost looks like it's turned purple too, that this unit has gotten severely hot.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
You know, the bushing, they're normally a gray looking bushing or a brass bushing. Now they did say, put a cut through here. If you notice, let me show you how to identify a rear lube pump stator and stuff though first. Anytime your cooler line's coming out of the rear of the case, when you take your pump apart, it better have that little notch right there. That's how you identify. Okay, if you put one in there that does not have that, then you're in trouble. Unless the pump's been updated, because they do make a kit, you can update them. So you always want to look for that little right there. Now, on the shift kit, they wanted you to come in here. Let me see if I don't go too far. And you notice here, they wanted you to drill a hole through there. We recommend drilling a 93 thousandths hole through that land right there where your pressure regulator valve is. And you notice here, it did not happen. The hole was not drilled. Now I'm not sure if it just keeps the converter full better, the converter charge I believe is what they were saying, so. And we do have all the good stuff to put back in here, clutches and stuff like that if it doesn't have it.
Was that loose or was that just
Well, we got problems. This right here this drum should just, there we go. Yeah, we got problems, just melted it.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Okay. If you notice, this bushing right here is stuck onto the input shaft, the billet input shaft. It spun the bushing here in the forward drum. And it spun it all the way out. It's actually stuck right there. This should come out of here now since I got that out of there. Try to turn it. Let's do it this way. Take the overdrive clutches out. What I want to do though, just for kicks and giggles, is I want to be able to put this back together. Back in there. I'm not sure if I'm putting it in there. See where my hole is. This went to over here. And that goes like that. Okay. But what I want to do is pressure test this drum and see if it'll hold some pressure. Since we're working on the 4th gear clutch, the training had no 4th gear, had everything else. Now this is where your hollow bolt goes through. You can blow through the bolt. But I'd rather not. I'd rather physically try to pressure it up right here and hold it. This does, I believe, has a bleed orifice right there. Let me try to see. Yeah, you see that bleed orifice?
Yeah.
You're always going to have a small leak. But it pressures up nice. The overdrive clutches aren't burnt. So it should have had overdrive.
Hey, I think you sprayed fluid and stuff on this because it's got something going on this side.
Did I?
I mean, it almost hit me when you slapped
Hey,
it
I'm going to
down
wipe
on
you guys off. Oh, I did, didn't I?
Yes.
Okay, sorry guys. You
Okay,
better?
yeah, there you go.
There we go.
It
Sorry
was
about
trying
that.
to focus on that fluid and it was going crazy.
Was it?
Yes. Glad it hit
Okay.
that, not me in the face.
Let's take the forward drum apart.
Is it supposed to look like that?
No, so I don't know what they did here. I've never seen a forward wave with the fingers bent so bad. And I don't know, it's kind of,
I don't understand.
let's see how bad those are all messed up looking. It's a wave plate no matter how you look
Okay.
at it. But I've never seen how they're bent down, so something's messed up in that part.
Right.
Of course you have your forward clutches, just a standard paper looking clutch where the whole tranny that we can put in here, we're going to be using the Allison clutches in your forward and in your 3rd gear clutch down in here. Then the rest of them, we pick and choose too, also what we're going to be putting in there. So the waves definitely got to be replaced there. Drums got to be replaced. You can see here with the billet shaft here, once this bushing went bad or went bad. It let this shaft rub down in here too. You can see it here. You can see your forward apply hole right there. Fluid comes out of this shaft and goes through that and applies that clutch on this drum. Well, there's another, you got two seals, so you got one here and one down in here, and both areas are destroyed. Drum's destroyed because the bushing is still on the billet input shaft, which is terrible. Actually, it's on the, what's good is it's on the planet. I looked at it wrong for a second. Probably planet cheaper than the billet input shaft. So if you notice, we have a snap ring right there. We're going to take that off. We're going to get it off there. Come on. There we go. Pull the billet input shaft out. Still looks beautiful. Thank goodness. Get to save that part. Overdrive planet, not so much. I could pull that bushing off there and look at it, see what it looks like, but I'm sure it's destroyed. So we lost oil pressure or something.
Remember that little tube wasn't in that hole.
That too, leaking, you know, pressure off. Look here. Now this should go ting. If you get one that goes thud thud, then you got to get rid of it because it's a cast iron, pot metal, and it will strip out here. This is a lot harder metal. But you can see here where it's already wore out through here. Not so bad on this side, but brush washer. You have a plastic one here. You can also switch it when you buy your washer kit. This one will be brass next time in the kit. So it does have the big roller sprag, the roller clutch, whatever you want to call it. Sometimes it can have a sprag looking assembly in here too for the later versions. They do say these are stronger. Clutch looks good. I could show you, I could go grab a later model. It's tiny, tiny, and it's not a roller. It's actually a sprag, where this is totally different here too. So you want to always look here on this sun gear. 99% of the time you have to change this drum because this sun gear right here is wore out, and it's really getting sharp. So this thing's got a lot of wear. Say Billy just bought this truck, so he's probably not going to be very happy. You want to check here where that plastic washer runs. This one here. This sets in there like that. You're going to check your high clutch. Starting to get a little action on the steel. See the hot spots on them right there? But like I said, we'll be upgrading all this right here to the best clutch in the world. Put back in there will be that Allison clutch. You want to look here for any wear where your sealing rings run. And you also want to look in here and see if it's got a sprag assembly or the early roller clutch style. This has got, this is like a, it's not a snap ring. I'm not sure what they would call this thing, but it wraps it 3 times or a couple times where it can't come off. This drum spins so fast that a normal snap ring will open up and release and come off, and this cover will come off and stuff like that. But this is like a spiral snap ring. Also, it's got little locks. You see the little opening there. It's got a dimple there. It locks into there. Opening there with a dimple that locks into there. A lot of times to get them to lock in, you get it, and then you turn it to where this little spot is right here. See that spot? That lock, the last lock, when you put it in there, it needs to be right there so it'll fall down in and lock right. And then you can turn it over here where it's harder to get out. So, of course, we do have our nice looking sprag here. Now they did have a drum that had a sprag in it like this. Had the notches here just for it too. See? Which they got rid of that there for the high performance and the pickups and stuff, and then they went to this style. Where it's smooth. You got this. Pretty simple. They make bigger, badder ones too. They make some thicker, bigger. I mean, all kinds of stuff. If you got money, you can spend it. If you look at your bushings here, how they're notched on the ends here, this is a rear lube style transmission. Your lube oil goes through the bushings, and if you put your standard bushing in here in your early design and a 400 design, you'll plug off your lube circuit going forward because it has to have those notches in there for the lube oil to go through it to keep going forward in the tranny. Okay, so you don't want to do that. That's now they did put a bigger, wider snap ring in here, I noticed. I found out the 48 RE forward drum snap ring works really good. So got your 4 clutches for your intermediate. You're starting to see hot spots here again. Still got the little wave in there, which I like leaving the wave in here just to give it a little bit of cushion. That way it doesn't beat up on the sprag as bad when this locks. Okay, if you take that out, it's such a violent hit on the clutch and the sprag that it just likes to break them.
Such a bully.
Such a bully. That was a good one, Teresa.
You're welcome.
They did upgrade the band size. I went to a wider band on the later versions, and so 400. You can put a 400 in there. It's just going to be a little smaller or a little narrower. Excuse me. Of course, you got your case snap ring. It's a bevel on this side, flat on this side. They had the opening away from the lugs, like right through here. I don't like to do that. I like to still put the opening over here, like that. Same thing with this snap ring here. When you put this back in there, I don't like to put the opening of the snap ring in this cavity here with no lugs. I always try to put it over there on that side, okay? Now, if you have an updated kit, they make that can they make a kit that you can put in here, actually multiple kits to put in here that will support the top snap ring right here, because it likes to break right through here because there's no lugs holding it. It tries to bend it out like that, and they make a support that goes on this little pin right here where this band used to go. You leave the band out, and then that helps hold that snap ring right there where it doesn't try to blow it out. So. I've got everything, make sure everything, they ain't got something crazy in here. There we go. Okay. If you notice here how this piston spring retainer has bent right here on the outer edges and started rubbing the drum. Starts rubbing the top of it right here. This drum sets down on there, and it starts rubbing it right here. You can see it. Mm-hmm. What I like to do, it's got so many springs in there, and that's the issue with it. I like to take one spring out in each section of springs.
I do remember you saying that.
Mm-hmm. And just by doing that, you can take and bend it back yourself. Just remove one set one here, one over here, and put it back on, and it quits bending. It's just that little bit right there will stop it from doing it. Okay. You got your intermediate ply piston. Now they do recommend leaving this sealing ring off right here, and also leaving the center seal off in the third gear drum. You're going to, I don't have my piston out, but this has got bonded pistons in it, so your outer seal, your inner seal on the piston is made to the piston, but the seal in the drum you want to leave off, and the seal here. Okay. This bushing right here, see how it's got two holes in it? Mm-hmm. Okay. The earlier design bushing only has one oblong square hole, like that. So you got to be careful on your bushings that you put back in here. You want to make sure that hole is lined up with the bushing. If you make sure that hole's lined up, everything else is going to be fine. Scotch brite this up. Gosh. You can see here how hot this thing got again. The thrush load washer right here is just purple. You have some bearings here. Thrush washer here. You can change this thrush washer out to a metal one, 4-tab, instead of using the plastic. You want to make sure none of these pins have moved. A lot of these pins will try to walk out and start rubbing on this washer. So we always go in here and TIG weld the pins, the 4 pins, not all of them, just the 4 on the rollers, and that way they don't move. See here, the roller clutch has legs on it that holds it up. So they've changed this up multiple times. Sometimes they put a piece in here that holds the sprag up, or the drum holds the roller clutch up. So multiple changes there. We have a very thin snap ring that sets down in the case, and what you got here, why they do that, is to keep this from wearing into the case. This snap ring sets here like this. I can get it on there. Sets in there just like that. When this sets down in the case, it sets on the snap ring. So they do make a thick and a thin right here. You got to be careful if you're changing out parts or stuff like that. Band is, I mean, it's old, original, not original, but could be, I guess. It's original style, you know, real coarse style. You know, wore down on the tips. You almost has no grooves here on the tips. So the band's pretty much wasted. I figured this tranny would have been a roller clutch tranny, or roller bearing tranny, excuse me, here in the back. You can take these 2 pieces out. Actually, this thrust washer here is a 4-tab. Remember the plastic 4-tab? This one right here will fit right down in there. Look here. The plastic one's set right down in there, but you can take this brass one, they're the same thicknesses, and set it right down in there too. Same thing. Get rid of that. That way you don't have to buy it, just saying. And then we're going to update this to a roller bearing in the back of the case back there. And what I do is I take and mic these, get my clearances right, take my bearing, mic the bearing, and then I'll have to put a shim in here. So to extend that up right there. If you notice, what's crazy is the bearing, or the bushing back here is already stuck up a little bit.
It's stuck up?
Yeah, it's already sticking up. I don't know why, unless it moved from lack of oil.
I was joking.
I know.
Being
Now,
stuck up.
they do make a wide bushing that goes back there that gives you a lip that sticks up to center the bearing. So,
Well, Richard, I think it's going to be a nice day. The sun's shining, and it's
Finally.
been, what, 5 days?
concentrating. You can see, I mean, just look at both sides of the teeth on the gear. You can see that that's natural how they machined it. You can see them goes all the way around. So that's normal. Curious to see what I can hear. That bushing's not purple, but it's working on it. So check your rear planet for any wobbling or anything like that. Make sure all your thrust washers are in there. Pins ain't purple. You have this race here. You have a bearing here. Another race there. Want to make sure they're not pitted. Some of these bearings too are missing. Every other bearing's missing. You want to get rid of that and then put a bearing in there that has all of them. Now, if you notice here, see them holes right there?
Mm-hmm.
If you notice that race has notches in it, so one hole is always open.
Oh, yeah.
They're always open. And that's to let lube oil get back in here through them holes by that snap ring to lubricate this bushing and stuff back there. So if you put the wrong one in here, you plug them holes off, then you're going to kill this bushing and bearing back here in the back. So it's just like this right here. You remember me talking about those grooves and those bushings?
Mm-hmm.
That sets on here. See?
Yeah.
Oil comes through here, pressurize all of that stuff. Comes through your support right here. See our seal missing, guys? There's our lube problem. Glad I remembered to look at that. What did we do with that little seal?
It's probably gone.
Yeah, it's probably around here somewhere. But remember that little seal I was showing you guys?
That we found in the pan.
That we found in the pan.
It's right there. The smashed one.
Yeah, I see that. I was looking for the new one.
Oh, I don't know what.
But
you did
anyway,
with
that seal should have been in here, and then this cooler line would have stuck in that seal like that. Then your cold lube oil would come in here, go through your support, come out them holes, go through this hole, these holes, go through here, pressurize all this through here, send oil that way, send oil all the way towards the front. That's why I was telling you, if you put the wrong bushings in here, you're going to block off your lube oil wherever you put that wrong bushing at, and everything forward is going to melt. So you can also see here, see them holes? Same identical thing. Lube oil has to go through there.
So we found a few things.
Yeah, more than I wanted to find. There we go. Let's say you want to look at this stuff and see if anything's savable. That's pretty bad. Gonna have to replace the planet. You can see the bushing. You know, those bushings normally don't fall out of these supports. Kind of weird that it did. So we found multiple problems. I don't see any issue with the valve body. If there's valves stuck in the valve body, it's because of what they did to the unit itself. I mean, some of these, it takes a professional to do this stuff. You just can't think you can do it. It's going to cost you a lot more money in the long run when you put it in and it don't work and all the fluid and stuff like that. So definitely going to take some pieces to fix it, but we're definitely going to get it in and get it right for Billy and get him going. So Teresa, we want to thank you for our video, and definitely we always appreciate you. And
Say bye, Cody.
I think Cody's going to leave and Andy's going to go tear them up. So, well, anyway, don't forget to subscribe, push the notification bell, so we got a lot more to come. Oh, one more thing, guys. I forgot. We started our store. Nothing great. Just a couple items on there.
Because we're learning.
We're learning,
still.
definitely. Like I said, me and Teresa and a few other people are helping us, but we want to learn it ourselves too, so we can kind of make this very, really successful. But anyway, go check out our store.
Kevin.
Yes, but still, go check out our store. It's nothing much. We're going to be adding more. So
We're trying.
We're trying.
Right.
But Kevin, I want to thank you for sending me these in the mail. I can't wait to try them. Really nice.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Hurricane.
Check them out, guys. Pretty neat stuff on there. But anyway, Don't forget to subscribe, push the notification bell, and have a great day.